So are you thinking about making a move to sunny South Florida and you're wondering what's going on in the market? Stick around, you're not going to want to miss this video. My name is Megan Schoner. I'm a local real estate agent here in Port St Lucie, Florida, and I love helping people like you on YouTube every single day find their treasure of a home here on the Treasure Coast. So if you're looking in the next 9 days, 90 days, next year or two, please feel free to reach out to me. My email and cell phone are listed below. I would love to set up a time to talk with you and help you find your beautiful home down here in Florida and answer any questions that you have. Please don't forget to also hit the like and subscribe button so you can be updated of my weekly videos. So today let's get started, and I want to talk about a recap of the second quarter of 2025 real estate market here in Port St Lucie, Florida. On my channel, you probably are looking at a lot of other channels. You're getting a lot of information, which is fantastic, on the internet and trying to figure out what's going on in the Florida market. You're going to probably be seeing lots of information. The housing market is crashing, and there's a lot of uncertainty of what to do. And if you're specifically looking for your retirement home here or a second home, you're wondering, when is the right time to time out the market, and is it better to buy or rent or wait, or really what should you be doing? So I want to give you all the information of what's going on locally in this area so you can make the best decision for yourself. And again, feel free to reach out to me if you ever have any questions. You can comment down below or call or text me anytime. So what we're seeing in Port St Lucie, Florida in second quarter is pretty similar to what we've been seeing really all year long. The number of closed sales are down. So specifically in May of 2025 compared to May of 2024, we're down about 17.7%. And for year to date, we're down about 9.7% of homes that have sold here in Port St Lucie. The interesting thing about it, though, is that the prices are still remaining steady. So our median sales price in May of 2025 was $419,950. It was up like 0.4% over May of 2024, and it is flat at $415,000 for the entire year to date, and that's flat from last May of 2024 year to date through May of 2025 year to date. So I know there's a lot of people that are saying, "Oh, the prices are falling, and we absolutely get a better deal." But what we're seeing is the home prices are still remaining really steady. There are less homes being sold. As you are probably out there, there's a lot of buyers that are nervous. Interest rates are still a little bit high. People don't really know what to do, so we do have less homes that are being sold. At the same time, really the biggest thing is our inventory. So our home inventory of homes for sale is now close to 1,600 single family homes. That's up about 9% over last year in May, and that's giving us about a 5-month supply. So we say anything 3 months or less supply is more of a buyer's market. Anything kind of that 4 to 6 range is more of a balanced market. Anything 6 months and over is a seller's market. On average, we're about 5, kind of inching to 5.5, and again, it's going to depend on the price point. So anything usually under 400,000 is more of a balanced market. There's a little bit more demand when you start getting above 400 to about 475. Anything over 450 really becomes more of a buyer's market. There's a lot more inventory. So really what we're seeing in our area is that because of all of this excess demand that we have with all this extra inventory, it's taking us longer to get under contract, so about 65 days to get an accepted offer, and then usually we're about 6 weeks or so to close after that. We're having less home sales overall, but the home prices are remaining steady. Now again, this is going to be for single family homes. When we were talking about the condo market, it is a different beast. What's happening in the condo market is we're currently sitting about 12 to 18 months of supply. So definitely more of a buyer's market in that area. And the reason for that is the last couple of years, the insurance companies have really had a lot of increases in the state of Florida in terms of the pricing for the condos. I've lived here over 20 years, and we have not had any hurricanes on our coast that have actually hit. It's more on the west coast of Florida, but as a result, for all of Florida, they have increased the insurance prices. And then adding on to that, then we also had the milestone report. This is based on the Surfside condo that had collapsed down in Miami, and all of the condos as of 2025 had to increase all of their reserves. They had to do all of these extra inspections and everything like that to comply with all the new codes. It's a good thing, but what happened is a lot of the condo associations significantly increased their monthly HOA fees, and then they had a lot of additional assessments. So you had a lot of condo owners that bought at a very reasonable price, and then suddenly they're hit with the insurance premiums and the assessments and the high HOA fees. And so that's why a lot of those condos are on the market and continue to sit on the market because there's a lot of people are just trying to get out of the condo market at this point. Other thing that's happening too is in our area, we do have a lot of new home builders, which is a fantastic thing as a buyer. You can come in, you have lots of different options. But what we're seeing from the builders is that because they have built and they have so much demand, just similar to what we're seeing in the existing single family homes, that we just have a lot more inventory. What's happening is the builders are trying to get rid of this inventory and they are reducing the prices. You guys have seen probably earlier videos. We are seeing some really good incentives from these builders. They're paying closing costs, some rate buy downs. They are also taking down some of the prices of the homes. So what that's doing is the buyers coming into the market and they're looking at what they can get for a brand new home with, let's say, impact windows, new roof, new AC, all of those features. And they're not seeing a huge difference between what the prices of a new construction home versus an existing home. What's ended up having to happen is that the existing home sales and the sellers are now having to compete against the new construction. And whenever we're pricing homes, we're looking at what is the price of the new home versus an existing resale home. So because the builders have come down and reduced their prices, now the existing home sales and the sellers are having to reduce their prices to compete with these builders. So that is also one of the factors that's happening in our area. So something that's a little bit different, at least in our area, and I don't know if this is true of all of Florida, but here on the Treasure Coast, we do have a lot of cash sales. So we have a lot of people that are selling homes in other parts of the country for a higher price point, and then they are coming down here either to retire or have a second home or just to kind of downsize. And so we have about 30% of our deals currently are cash deals. So that is affecting, I think, our market a little bit different than maybe some of the other markets. You hear about, the high interest rates and buyers kind of sitting on the sidelines, which is true in some instances, but we also have a lot of people that can purchase cash here. So what they're doing is they're seeing that there is an opportunity in the market, especially on some of like the 55 and older and some of the newer construction. We are seeing some good increases on those ends. So our market is a little bit different too, because not only do we get all of our seasonal snowbirds, from the Northeast and people looking to relocate to the area, but we are actually getting a lot of people from South Florida. So Miami, Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach area. So all of those people are coming into our area along with all of our snowbirds. Our area offers a lot of new construction, a lot of resale. We have a lot of different price points. We have things on the water, pool homes, and again, we're South Florida, so it's nice and sunny. So I really believe that our demand is a little bit different. When you were looking and hearing some of the news about Florida housing market crashing, I think it's more in other areas, specifically on the west coast of Florida, that had a lot of Airbnbs that have had more damage with the hurricanes, and maybe they're not having the same demand that we currently have here. The other thing too, when I was talking about the cash buyers, about 30% of our deals are cash. Starting to see a lot of 55 and older looking for vacation homes, looking for a way to shelter assets with the volatility of the current market. There's some really good deals out there, especially for some of these homes that have been on the market for average about 65 days in the market. There's a lot of homes that have been on the market for 6+ months. Sellers started out with higher expectations than what they thought they could get their house sold for, and they're sitting. So there's a lot of people that are motivated, and especially if you are a cash buyer, there are a lot of really, really good deals out there. Sellers are willing to negotiate now. It's a great time if you're looking to purchase here in our area. If you are a seller, my tips and advice on this are really to get your house, or if you're even thinking about selling, is to make sure that your house is what I call HGTV ready. So what you see on TV of all these people are doing the house hunting, the buyers are doing the same thing too when they come into the market. They're expecting to see a house that is really clean, pressure washed, in really good condition. The painting looks nice. The furniture, is nice. I hate to say it that way, but truly they're looking for that magazine ready look. So if you can get your house in the best shape possible, and then also when we are pricing, not only looking at what's currently available on the market, looking at a new construction, and then looking at where the homes have sold. Our strategy now is to actually price below the market so that we're not chasing the market, because what's happening right now is a lot of people will be pricing based on the current market conditions, and then as the homes sit for longer and the inventory increases, then all of a sudden you're getting these price drops. And if you're a seller now, you're trying to chase the market and trying to decrease your price to keep up with the market, versus if you just go in and you're aggressive on your price initially, there's still buyers out there that are looking for a good deal. You'll get multiple offers on it. It'll drive the price up. Overall, what can we expect going into third quarter and for the remainder of the year? I don't have a glass ball. I can't tell you exactly, but my gut feeling on all of this, based on everything that I'm seeing in the market and the information that I'm learning and hearing, is I think it's going to be more of the same. I don't see anything major changing throughout the end of the year. The big thing is interest rates, and if we do have some pretty significant drop drops in interest rates, if we can get back down into the 5s, then I think we might have more frenzy, but I don't really see that. I think we're probably going to end up 6s for the interest rates. I think there's still the volatility in the stock market right now, so I think people are still cautiously optimistic. So I think we're still in South Florida, so there's always demand. People want to move to our area, and we are still a lot more affordable than all the other areas to the further south of us. So there are a lot of people still moving to our area for that affordability, but they're looking for a good deal. So there's so much inventory out there. I don't feel like there's huge sense of urgency. And so I have a feeling that that's going to kind of continue through the end of the year, at least through third quarter. And we'll see. We always start picking back up. Once we get the first cold snap in the Northeast, all of a sudden the phones start ringing and everybody thinks about wanting to come back down to Florida. So summertime's usually a little bit quieter for us because of all the hurricanes, because everybody is on vacation in other parts of the country, and so we do tend to slow down a little bit in the summer months and then pick back up in the fall and the winter. But I have a feeling that through the end of the year, I think this is still a good safe bet to purchase here. I think as a buyer, you're going to have a lot of great opportunities to negotiate pricing and have a lot of inventory to choose from, but I don't think we're going to see any major swings either way. So that's my prediction. Feel free to comment below with what you are seeing in the market, what you anticipating to see in the Florida market here. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I would love to set up a time to talk to you and help you find your treasure of a home here on the Treasure Coast. And don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button so you can be updated on weekly videos.